Okay, now it's time for the Lifetime Achievement Award, and here to present that award is Dee Dee Bartlett. Dee Dee is past president of the Women's Forum of New York, an organization of women leaders, and immediate past president of the Hotlines National Advisory Board. A leading authority of domestic violence in the workplace, she lectures around the world and has sponsored more than 40 conferences and workshops on domestic violence throughout the United States, Europe, Central America, and Australia. Presenting the award for Lifetime Achievement, Dee Dee Bartlett.
Thank you, Gretchen. We have a cheat sheet up here in case you didn't realize. I really appreciate your wonderful remarks, and thank you very much. Although I have introduced Linda Fairstein on more occasions than either one of us care to count, I still marvel at her extraordinary achievements. And relax, Linda, I am not going to read them all. Do not worry. But as Chief of Sex Crimes Prosecution in Manhattan for 25 years, Linda supervised the investigation and trial of every case involving sexual assault, domestic violence, and child abuse. She was literally the role model for Law and Order's Special Victims Unit. And in the process, she changed the law, she changed the way courts treat victims of sex crimes, and she changed the way that we, the public, perceive them. Today, Linda is a New York Times best-selling author of crime novels featuring Manhattan prosecutor Alexander Cooper. Her latest book is Killer Heat. It is terrific. It is the 10th in this wonderful series. And in February, we will have a new Alexander Cooper book, Lethal Legacy. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great personal pleasure to present the National Domestic Violence Hotlines Lifetime Achievement Award to Linda Fairstein. And the award reads, in recognition of Linda Fairstein for lifetime achievement in advocacy for victims and leadership for change, October 28, 2008.
Thank you, Dee Dee. Such a beautiful award. Okay, that's true. It's wonderful to be here with the other much deserving honorees and all of you who do such good work in this field. It is a special delight to receive this award from Dee Dee. As all of you who do this work know, we're a pretty small community, unfortunately, and thanks to the media for helping to expand that. So Dee Dee and I have given each other awards many, many times. Truly appalled to hear that this was going to be a lifetime achievement. And to realize that it is 36 years of my life, I guess, that I've spent doing this work. So thanks for the wake-up call. One of the worst things about this work was how few voices there were to gather to participate when I came to practice of law in 1972. And as I said in an event recently, there was not a special victims unit in any police department nor any prosecutor's office in the United States of America when I came to do that work. There weren't hotlines. They didn't exist. 911 had just gone into effect as a tool for victims of any kind of violence to use to call the police. It's been especially wonderful to have partners, so many of whom are here tonight. Dee Dee, who led me into corporate America when those doors were locked and we couldn't get anybody to open them up. My friends from Safe Horizon, truly the leading light in my world when the organization was founded. It's about to have a big birthday, because we could work within the system, but our victims wouldn't even come to us because there were no advocates to lead them through. Jane Randall, I would follow you anywhere. She's done such extraordinary work, and her individual role in keeping this clipboard on this course has been remarkable. So she sits there blushing. And my my dear friend Mariska Hargitay has lent her star power, and even though Dick Wolf did, as I told her the other night, rip my professional life from the headlines and put it on television, again, to what your franchise, the Law and Order Mothership, and SVU have done to educate the public is quite extraordinary. So I am thrilled to receive this award from people who are passionate about the issue, as I am. Thank you all other honorees for the work you've done to bring this issue to the fore and for celebrating with us tonight, and to the work of the hotline. Use us. It's just remarkable what you do to save lives of people who never had access to the system before, and hopefully we do reach a day when we are preventing more and more of these terrible crimes. Thanks for being here.
Thanks very much, ladies. And I'm pleased now to welcome Ted Bunch tonight to present the award for advocacy and social change. Ted, the co-founder of A Call to Men, the National Association of Men and Women committed to ending violence against women. As an advisory board member to the New York State Integrated Domestic Violence Court and a founding member of the New York City Batterer Task Force, Ted is recognized both nationally and internationally for his expertise in organizing and educating men in the effort to end violence against women. Please help me welcome Ted Bunch.
Well, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited because I'm here with so many leaders, so many people doing so many wonderful things around this effort. And I'm the co-founder of a national organization, A Call to Men, whose mission is to galvanize the national movement of men committed to ending violence against women. So to be here with the recipients, congratulations to all of you. Also to be here with the national leaders such as Patrick Gaston and Sheryl Cates, and even the local folks here in New York such as Cipriani and B. Hanson and Ariel as well. I just want to say thank you, and I'm glad and honored to be here. It's my distinct honor. And, you know, Linda Fairstein said something about it being a small community. And the more and more I go to these things, I'm seeing more and more men, which is really important. And it's so wonderful to see men working alongside of women and not taking over. It just feels different. It feels a little bit better. And Victor Rivers is one of those men who I've seen over the years and the work that I've done, who I've really admired, and I'm really honored to be able to present this award to you, Victor. In his personal memoir, A Private Family Matter, and if anyone has not read that book, you really need to. It's a powerful, powerful tribute to his mother, and also expressing his experience as well as that of his mom and his siblings. Powerful. Victor Rivers details how he managed to survive in a home affected by domestic violence, and how he overcame an environment in which he learned very few people were willing to help. Not only is Victor a noted author, but he has advocated in Washington for the Violence Against Women Act and the Family Violence Prevention Services Act to create increased safety for women and children. Victor is a member of the National Domestic Violence Hotline Celebrity Board, and a firm believer that we must all be involved in the effort to end domestic violence. That it's not simply a women's issue. While women have been at the forefront and historically have had to, in order to survive, in order to protect themselves, it's everyone's issue. It's a human rights issue, and in particular, if anyone needs to accept their own responsibility, it's men. All of us. Not just those men who perpetrate the violence, but the good guys who don't say anything about the abuse, because that is synonymous with permission. So when he's not busy speaking around the country, around the issue of domestic violence, Victor also finds time the second greatest passion, which is acting. He's currently a regular on the NBC series Life, and he's doing tremendous, he really added a tremendous, I don't know if anyone who here watches the show, but he really adds a tremendous lift to me, to the show, as far as his character and all the presence that he brings to that. So I'm really happy for you and that one as well, Victor. But please help me acknowledge our Advocacy and Social Change Award recipient, Victor Rivers. plaque it reads in recognition of Victor Rivas winners for advocacy and social change for victims of domestic violence, October 28, 2008, National Domestic Violence Hotline. Congratulations.
With all my gratitude to Sheryl Cates and to everyone at the National Domestic Violence Hotline for this honor. And to my fellow honorees whose company I'm humbled to be in, congratulations. I've asked my colleague and my friend Ted Bunch to stand with me because we represent that new solution to an old problem. You see, most men are good men, but we stand by silently when we know that our brothers, our uncles, our teammates, our co-workers, our friends are committing acts of violence and disrespect towards women. Now it's time for all men to stand shoulder to shoulder and raise our voices to end what I believe is our most prevalent yet most curable social disease. So thank you so much, Deb. Now, I know a lot of you have heard me say this, but I'm going to clarify it again, and if you know what I'm going to say, you can join in with me. I'm not a woman. Again, I've been doing this for 10 years, and even though I'm stating the obvious, many times when I tell people that I speak out against domestic violence, I'm still asked, isn't that strictly a woman's issue? And that seems to be the popular misconception, because as far as I'm concerned, domestic violence is everyone's issue. As a child who was once rescued and raised by his proverbial village by true champions, like many of you in this room, many of them women, I would like to accept this award on all of their behalf, and to name a handful of them without whom I know I would not be standing here in front of you tonight. First, my mother, Olga Rivas, who endured 15 years of domestic terrorism that took place on a level of torture in her home, always throwing herself in the path of my father's storm to protect her children. Yet she managed in her own quiet and noble way to give us the values that help all of her children break the cycle of violence. My 8th grade teacher, who personally and secretly bought me a cafeteria meal ticket when my father was starving me, the aptly named Mrs. Rice, kept me and my self-esteem alive. I also would like to honor my Miss Susie Baldwin, who was my high school homeroom teacher during my 3 years of high school, who nurtured a 6'2", 200-pound homicidal and suicidal gang member and transformed him into the senior class president, scholarship athlete, and contributing member to his society. Liliana Cipriani, who not only allowed me in her home, but raised me as one of her kids. To all the women of the National Network to End Domestic Violence, the National Domestic Violence Hotline, and the Verizon Foundation, who have championed me as a spokesperson. And finally, to my wife, Michael Rivas, who has encouraged me to evolve into the man that I've become, and who is my partner in my most important role, and that is a father to my 14-year-old son Eli, who reminds me every single day that if we are sincere about wanting to create a world where all of us, but especially our children, can grow up safe and free from the threat of violence, we need to stop violence where it begins and is learned, and that is in homes and in relationships. I thank you. God bless you. Peace.